Hello, it's Wednesday. I have been slightly waylaid by the fact that we've been slowly moving back into the kitchen, even though it's not done, because it took me so long to choose the handles. So we're still handleless, but they're on their way. So I'll hopefully be able to update you with that by the end of the week. I will keep you in suspense. I'm midway through sorting it, so I've started to bring things down from upstairs and around the house, and I'm starting to sort things into spaces where they can fit for now until we live with it for a bit. I can never make outright decisions straight away. I need to live with things for a while. I've moved like our old appliances in, and already they look like they just don't belong here because they're kind of a cream colour against all the white, but they will do for now. That's the least of my decision making at the moment. I feel like I've just raced on to say hello to you in this vlog. Hello, welcome back to another update. Dan and I, it's Wednesday and I'm off today. I worked a Saturday a couple of weeks ago and I get time off in lieu. I'm working this Saturday as well, so I'll get another day off. So I've got today off because it's parents' evening tonight for Phoebe, and that starts at about 4 o'clock, so it made sense to take today off. So when I'm at home, Dan and I try to go for a half-hour lunchtime walk. So that's what we're about to do, and I'll take you with us. Why not? Have to be careful. So we're back from our walk, and I thought I'd just show you the fridge because that's been installed, but it's not plugged in yet because still got the old one here. We haven't got handles on yet. So until there's handles on, we can't really start using it. Also, Dan and the builder decided between them which way the doors will open, and I disagree with them. So I think I'm going to have to get the builder to change it round. And although it means it won't be the most ergonomic of situations, well, let me show you. So this is the new integrated fridge freezer. It is a lot smaller than my old one, but not as small as I thought it was going to be. But still a lot smaller. I am pretty nervous about the size of this, but we are going to get one suitable for outdoor use to put in one of the outdoor sheds that we have. So that's fine. And the fridge isn't too much of a worry, if I'm very honest, because I keep too much stuff in the fridge anyway. But the main thing is they decided between them how the door would open. So obviously they've decided it would open like this because, you know, it makes sense with the kitchen. But there is a wall there. Now they both said, no, it's fine, you just stick something on the wall. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I'd just rather it open the other way because that's how it's opened since we moved in. And it's never bothered me. It doesn't bother me that instead of doing this, oh no, shut, oh, hang on. So imagine there's a handle. Instead of doing this, I would have to take the extra split second to do this. That just, it doesn't bother me in any way. Oh no, have I left this on? Oh no, I left this on for my lunch. Whoops, that could have been a disaster. Sandwich maker. Anyway, stop talking, start sorting. And go and make myself look presentable for parents' evening. But I've got tons of stuff away in cupboards. I won't bore you with it. But basically now the tables, this is all the builder's stuff here. And we've still got some stuff under the table, so we can't quite get back to eating around the table, but that should happen by the weekend. I've got the plates in the kitchen and not on the living room floor. They're not going to be there for long. We have 3 shelves that go up here. So this is where we keep our plates. Sorry, interrupted by children, not my own, coming downstairs. Phoebe's got a couple of friends round. Sorry, I don't know why I'm going round and round. Yeah, so we're off to parents' evening. I'm still not sure about the colour. The one I'm leaning towards is this middle one up here, but when I see it down here, it's a Dulux one, actually, and it's called, what's it called? Tranquil Dawn. Let me show you how it looks next to Farrow and Ball's Mizzle. So this is Tranquil Dawn by Dulux, and this one is Mizzle by Farrow and Ball. I mean, there's not a lot in it, is there? That might be a decision for tomorrow. Hello, it is about 4 o'clock on Thursday and I've had a bit of a strange day. I got up at my normal time and also I broke a tooth last night. Well, it's a previously broken tooth right here. I had a little chip out the top of it and my dentist fixed it and that fix came out last night. So I have an appointment on Monday to get my tooth fixed, but it makes me lisp a bit. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I've had a funny day. Got up at my normal time and had a thumping headache. And I did a bit of work and I did some stuff, editing and so on, and some notes. And by about 9 o'clock, I just couldn't keep my head upright. I felt like it was too heavy. So I went and had a lay down in bed, which is also Dan's office during the day. And he apparently conducted a whole meeting. And I slept through it all and I woke up at 11:30. I went back to bed for 2.5 hours. I feel like I've lost most of the day. I still feel really weird. I'm putting it down to hormones at the moment because I've had some weird hormonal things going on. But anyway, I've spent the rest of the day doing a bit of organising of my... I've got Notion now as a way to try and organise how I'm running my life, the house, and managing my YouTube channels and my Etsy shop. And it's taken me a while to get my head around it, but now that I think I have, I'm really glad I've invested that time, because I think I've now got an online sort of to-do list and calendar that really works for my brain, and will go across my phone and my laptop as well. And I can see there's other things that I can add to it. So quite happy at the moment. If you use Notion or you have any tips and tricks about it, please do let me know. Don't tell me any disaster stories. I'm feeling really positive about it. Only tell me the good bits. Or like if you watch someone who's pretty good at it, let me know. Anyway, I've just had rambling for 2 minutes. I haven't even got to the point. I've just had a knock at the door and I've got something very exciting here. I ordered some window film so we live in a Victorian house, right on the cusp of Edwardian and Victorian. And a lot of our windows have got the original, a lot of our doors, sorry, have got the original windows above them. They're all covered in plastic at the moment from when we were painting the ceiling. Oh, I just realised we need to put that back up, don't we? That's the smoke alarm. And you can also see that the gloss needs redoing. It's very yellow. So that's a job to do next week, the painting. But let me just put the light on. We had a new wall put in. So now the view through that window is the back of a wall, which isn't the most inspiring view when you're sitting having your dinner. So what I've done is I've ordered some custom made window films to put here, and I'm really nervous about it. They're from Pearlfrost and they're quite quirky. So let's get them out and have a little look. Can we all just take a moment to appreciate how cute this packaging is? I want to be really careful because I'm not actually going to be fitting this today. So I want to make sure I can wrap it all back up. It's got all the fitting instructions wrapped around it. Or I'm a bit nervous about showing you actually, because I don't want to take it all apart. So sorry, you're going to have to wait with bated breath for either the weekend or the next vlog, I'm afraid. Go on, I'm mean. To make up for it, I will show you the final handle choices. Thanks to everybody that commented to give me your views and opinions on this. I have made a decision that I am really happy with. So I've gone for this bow end handle in brushed nickel. And this was from simplyhandles.co.uk. But they didn't have a doorknob that I liked that went with it. It was too small, the one that they had. And this one is from a pack of 2 from Screwfix for about £3 for 2. So really pleased with that when it arrived. It looks like they were just made to match. Really difficult to film, but they've got exactly the same finish and they've got that exact same sort of edge to them as well. Really, really happy, and these will be fitted tomorrow. So for my own sanity as well as yours, I thought we might have a little chat about something that's not about handles and dust and kitchens and any of that. I'm just adjusting some things so I can come and sit up here. So I have mentioned that I have been stalking a few, well, when I say stalking, watching a few booktubers, which I haven't really watched before, and to be honest, didn't really understand before. But then lovely Jo, who's a viewer, Joe P, hi Jo, mentioned at least one YouTuber. I think she mentioned What Victoria Read and a couple of others as well, possibly. And I went along to have a look and I found that I really enjoyed it. So I've been watching Victoria and I've been watching a few more that she's mentioned as well, like Charlotte over at Books and Bargains, Leanne at Literary Diversions. And I find that I'm just really enjoying hearing people's opinions on books, hearing about new books coming out, or hearing them talk about books that I already know and love. And it's really encouraging me to keep up with my reading, which is something that I've always loved but has fallen by the wayside recently. And they talk a lot on BookTube about their TBR lists, which is their list of to be read, books they have in their possession to be read, their to be read pile, their TBR pile. And they have it quite organised. And I was looking around at my bookshelves and various piles around the house thinking, I've got a lot of books in my possession that I have had for an eternity and have never read, which means I have an existing rather large and deep, as in time, deep back in time, to be read list, which I have kind of no overall view of. So I thought what we would do now is see what my TBR list is. So we're going to start here on the bookshelves, and then we're going to go upstairs to the bedroom where I've got a box with books in it, a load of books stacked on some shelves that are from the kitchen at the moment, which we'll be moving, and a load of books on my bedside chest of drawers. I think that's it for where they're all kept and hidden away. And we're going to compile my to be read list and make some decisions. I thought that might be fun and distract us from the kitchen chaos. Was an interesting exercise. They were everywhere, and also some of them are really old, and some of them I haven't read, but they're not really on my to be read pile because they were my dad's or my mum's or my grandparents, and they were in my house growing up, and they've been in my house ever since I've had my own place to live, and they've just become part of what it means to be at home. There are certain books on my bookshelves I can't imagine not seeing or not having. Maybe one day I will read them. I will never be able to read my dad's version of Catch-22 though, because it's literally falling apart. But they're just too, yeah, they're just, I attach a lot of sentimentality to things like that. And they will always be there. But these ones are all in sort of the bought to read or gifted to me to read pile, with one exception, which I don't think I can ever part with, and I've never read it. Hang on. There are 42 books here, by the way, that I've gathered from around my house. I didn't realise it was that bad. Yeah, The Hounds of Morrigan by Pat O'Shea. Look at that 80s cover there. This was bought for me when I was probably somewhere between Phoebe and Lydia's age, probably nearer to Phoebe's age at around 12, 13. And I always loved the idea of it and never read it as a child, but it was always on my shelves in my bedroom, and when I moved it came with me. I always intended reading it, and every time there came an opportunity to have a clear out and throw it out, this book has always survived, yet I've never read it. I cannot understand my logic for that, so I think maybe it's about time I read it, which is going to be interesting, because it's either going to be like, oh, now I know why I've never let it go, or, well, that was disappointing. So this is remaining, but when I will read it, I don't know. But what I might do is add it to my storygraph, so that it becomes an actual out there in the world thing that I will hold myself to. Whoops. Right, the rest of them I'm just going to go through really quickly. There's 42 books here, and this is going to take a long time. So I'm just going to go really quickly through them and decide what I'm going to do.
8 Perfect Hours was a gift from one of my best friends who was one of my bridesmaids, Claire, a couple of years ago on my birthday. I haven't got round to reading it, but I wish to, so that's staying. Firm Cotton Happy I bought myself. Made it about that way through, wasn't really doing it for me, probably going to get rid of that one. The Snow Child, also from my friend Claire, coming on for at least 10 years ago. She read it, she enjoyed it, she thought I would, so gave it to me. I do want to read it. The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, I definitely want to read this. This was a charity shop bargain, and yeah, definitely want to read that. That's staying. The Founding by Stacey Halls, I bought on recommendations because so many of my viewers on this channel recommended it. So yes, definitely want to read that. Homestretch by Graham Norton was a Christmas gift from my mum. Definitely want to read this. That's saying. Station Gym by Louis de Berlier was a charity shop find in a second-hand bookshop in Margate, and yeah, I definitely want to read this. It's a Christmas story, so I might make a little Christmas to be read pile, a separate one, because I know I've got another Christmassy one. The Reading List by Sarah Nisha Adams was a book passed on to me by my lovely friend Becky at Back to Blighty. She loves to read. She was getting rid of some. She thought I would like this, so I'm definitely keeping that and want to read it. Oggy and Me, I was reading, so the whole family, Dan and I, Lilia and Phoebe, we all read Wanda one after another, and we all loved it. And then I got Oggy and Me, which I think Lilia read at school, and Phoebe and I started to read between us, and we got almost halfway through it, and I in particular was loving it, but Phoebe kind of started to lose interest, so I want to come back and finish Oggy and Me. I'll probably just start again from the beginning. The House at Riverton by Kate Morton was a Christmas gift from my mum, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years ago, or whenever it came out probably. When was it published? It's so old, it's got a tiny bit of web on it. I don't know if that will come out on the camera. Little bit of web. So it was published in 2007, so probably almost that long ago she bought it. I don't even really know what it's about, but I think I was always put off of it because it looks quite hefty, but actually the text is quite large. So it's been on my bookshelf so long, I would like to give it a go. Anyone read it? Is it worth it? Let me know. I probably won't listen, but another one, gift for my mum, Body Surfing by Anita Shreve. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail about what it says on the back. Also from my mum, The Catalpa Tree by Denise Devlin. Sort of coming of age story, I think. Not sure. Again, I'm not sure. What I might do with the ones I'm not sure about, actually, which is these 3 so far, is make a little pile of them and look them up and maybe just get a sense of the reviews. I don't normally do that before I read something, but if I'm uncertain, that might help me make a decision. David Attenborough, Life on Air. This was Dan's. He read it and he thought I would enjoy it. You know I like a bit of David Attenborough. I'm working on my David Attenborough cross stitch. I think this will be really interesting, so I will get around to reading that one day. Anyone else panic whenever you see David Attenborough trending anywhere on social media and immediately think, ooh? Okay, I'm going to have to speed up, aren't I? The Misremembered Man, I bought second hand after somebody here recommended it. I would definitely like to read this. So that's staying. Letters from Lighthouse Cottage was a charity shop find. I started reading it. I loved it. Really light and fluffy. I would probably read this after Babel, which I'm reading at the moment. The Golden Fleece I bought in a charity, not a charity shop, in a lovely independent bookshop in Rochester on a lovely day out with my family. It's about the history of the British wool in the British Isles. Definitely will read that. The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, another Christmas gift from my mum. I have never read The Girl on the Train, and I will one day. I would like to do that. Billy Connolly, Tall Tales and Wee Stories. It's kind of one I dip into, but I've never sort of read it cover to cover. I might take this with me to Scotland this year in the summer, which is where we're going on holiday. Another charity shop one, I Found You by Lisa Jewell. I really like Lisa Jewell. I liked her when she originally started writing back in the 90s or early 2000s, and I like the thrillers that she does, so yeah, definitely keeping that one. Another charity shop Christmas one, The Christmas Train by David Baldacci. I don't know how to say it. I know that's silly because I know he's really famous. So that's going in the to be read around Christmas time pile. The Readers of Broken Will recommend was another charity shop bargain. I definitely want to read that. Mixed opinions on that from you lot. Some people say you loved it, some people say you didn't. Another charity shop bargain, Anna Whitehouse, Underbelly. Hardback, unusual for me. Definitely going to be reading that at some point. Lovely gift from my friend Rachel, which came with a little parcel around my birthday. It's a charity shop find, Finn Family Moomin Troll. I have all the Moomin books, but I didn't have this one, so I'm going to add that to my collection and read that. I haven't included in this pile things like ones that you dip into throughout the year, like the Forager's Calendar and things like that, the Walker's Guide to Outdoor Signs and Clues, dippy in books rather than sit down and read novels. I haven't included those, so that might skew the total a little bit. Wild Wood by Colin Meloy with illustrations by Carson Ellis was actually a gift for Phoebe from Wendy. It's made its way onto the shelves in the living room. I know Phoebe wants to read it at some point, but so do I. So I'm going to add that to my to be read list. If We Were Villains was a birthday gift that I don't remember asking for, and Lilia has never forgiven me because she really wants to read it. So I need to read this soon so I can give it to her because she wants to read it and annotate it. Practical Magic I asked for my birthday and got. I think I messed up a bit because I think there are books that come before this in the series, so I may get the previous ones or I may just read it, but I'm definitely reading it. Lessons in Chemistry was a gift from my friend Sarah for my birthday. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard lots of good things about it. The Girl on the Landing was one of the books in the running by Paul Torday, was one of the books in the running when I was choosing which book to read in a day. I will link that video underneath. It was really good fun. I might do that again and read this one in a day and see how I get on with that. Perfect by Rachel Joyce is the first one I bought of hers in actual hard copy because I've listened to the rest of the books of Rachel Joyce that I enjoyed on audio. Terrible use of sentences. This is brand new. I got this week. Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson, because what Victoria read always talks about how good this is, and I actually got it to read with Phoebe, even though Phoebe is 13 and this is way sort of beneath her reading age. I thought it might be fun. However, she's shown zero interest in it and she's really got into the Hunger Games. So I'm going to read it by myself and thoroughly enjoy it. And look, it's got red page edges. The Bullet That Missed in paperback by Richard Osman arrived after my birthday. I asked for it for my birthday because I've got the other two paperbacks and I wanted this one in paperback, and I don't want to listen to this one on Audible because they changed the narrator, and as much as I love the actress, I miss the original narrator, so I'm going to read this one rather than listen to it. In a Spin, we talked about a few vlogs ago. This was a book I read in my childhood, so this is going to be a reread. My sister happened to have it. She was watching the vlog and she said, I've got that, and sent it to me. So I'm going to reread In a Spin. Rebecca I bought, you would have seen me find in a second-hand bookshop in Morecambe on our holiday in Lancashire last year. In fact, it was the Old Pier bookshop. And here's a little postcard illustration of it. This is where I bought Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have never read any Daphne du Maurier books, and I'm really excited to read this one, which is second-hand and has an inscription from 1948. It's amazing how long it takes to talk about books like this, and the tidying up is going to be ridiculous. Two more. The Dinner Lady Detectives by Hannah Hendy and Half a World Away by Mike Gale. I bought in an offer in the works. Why am I doing like this in a sing-song way now? In the works and blah. Love Mike Gale. Read all of his books that he's brought out in the sort of 90s, early 2000s, and this one just sounded really, really fun. Definitely going to be reading those. Merde is actually a follow-up book. I found it in a charity shop. Thought it sounded quite funny. I like books about France and so on, but I'm probably never going to read this because I'm going to have to get the first one and I can't be bothered, so that I can go into the charity shop. I've got two new books here which arrived in the post, for me to try reading, and Dan has already expressed an interest, and that is 2 books in the Flavia de Luce series by Alan Bradley, The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie and The Graves, A Fine and Private Place. These were from lovely Diane, who sent them to me because she thought I would enjoy them, and certainly I am looking forward to reading them, and so is Dan. Then I've got Lessons I've Learned by Davina McCall. I don't know why I've got this. I think someone might have got it for me for Christmas or a birthday. I like Davina McCall. I'm not sure that I'm ever going to get round to reading this, if I'm honest. I might put it in the unsure pile. And then I've got Anton de Beck, who is one of my guilty pleasures, Moonlight Over Mayfair. I read one of his previous books, which was... I can't remember, but it was set in sort of Second World War. Very much a glamorous love story set in that kind of time, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading this. I think this was a gift from Dan. And there we have it. I think that's it. I don't think I've got any more lurking anywhere, at least. I really, really hope not. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye now because I think this is going to be long enough with that bit alone and me grumbling about the kitchen. So by the time I see you next week, I think we will have a finished kitchen. Obviously, I still need to paint because I've been racked with indecision on this project, which is fine. I don't mind. The kitchen's in, with the floor we've almost decided on, and I'm still faffing about with paint, but I've got a bit of a deadline. We've got Him Empeño Day, which is our made up family annual celebration happening in July. I want it done for then, so I have a deadline, and that usually works. If I know I've got to have something ready by then, it will be ready. So there'll be plenty of progress to share with you next time. Thank you so much for watching and giving me your opinions and supporting me along the kitchen chaos. The end is most definitely in sight, and I'll see you again in a week's time. Bye. Oh, and I should say I've got a knitting and crochet podcast that went up yesterday by the time you're watching this. So if you fancy even more of this rambling, then you can head over to Little Drops of Wonderful, where you can watch my May wrap up for the things I've been making. Right, I really am going now.